Hello, and welcome to Global Data Themes Instant Insights. At Global Data, we define a theme as something that keeps a CEO awake at night, as businesses that invest in important themes will succeed, and those that don't will fail.
Hello, and welcome to Instant Insights. I'm Daniel Clark, and today I'll be chatting to Chris Dinga, payments analyst at Global Data, following the news that Apple is finally entering the buy now, pay later sector. Hi Chris, thanks for coming on.
Hi Daniel, thanks for having me.
So Chris, what is buy now, pay later? How does it work?
Buy now, pay later is a form of short-term lending, which consumers like me and you can borrow without having to pay interest rate on it, as long as you make your payment in time and allow you to break down your installments, I would say in like 3, 4, sometimes 6 different installments over a given amount of time. So the goal is for you as a consumer to meet your payments on time, so you don't get penalized by, say, interest rate or late payment fees. You either use one of the BNPL provider like Klarna or Affirm, get on their app or their website, look for product you want to buy, and when you get to the checkout point, you pretty much get approved. So they go through a reviewing process and they approve you for the loan. And that's pretty much that. Or you can do it through an e-commerce platform like Amazon that already integrated within the platform a BNPL service.
Thanks for that. So Global Data's latest Buy Now, Pay Later report found that the global transaction value for Buy Now, Pay Later is forecasted to reach $576 billion by 2026, which is up $120 billion from 2021. Why is there such a sudden upward trend in Buy Now, Pay Later payments?
We're expecting, like you mentioned, Buy Now, Pay Later to reach about 776 billion by 2026. The reality is, at the moment, the BNPL sector is still a small market. When you look at it compared to the global e-commerce market size, it's only about 2.5% of the total e-commerce. So there's a lot of room for growth. And there's some countries that we're already noticing double-digit growth, whereas in a lot of countries at the moment we see single-digit growth. And part of the uptick in the value of the market is that we're expecting to see on one side, because BNPL is a direct competitor to credit card, we're expecting to see a gradual shift from some consumers who are using credit card towards the BNPL service. But we're also expecting to see more established companies to come into the sector and also providing BNPL service to, I would say, to wider audience. So at the moment, the companies that are leading it, I would say, are still fighting for market shares. But when you're going to have companies who are already established, so recently we have the news of Apple, which has launched a platform, their own service. So when you're going to have more and more companies like that, we're going to see uptick in the services transaction, but also in the amount of consumers doing it.
So what type of consumers are actually attracted to Buy Now, Pay Later payments, and why are they seeking these types of loans?
The demographic that we're seeing are interested in those services are, I would say, the millennials and the Gen Z demographic. The reason why is flexibility. It's very flexible in terms of the flexibility in terms of repayments of the loan, but also the ease of payments and also how convenient it is to get approved for loans.
So what are the downsides to Buy Now, Pay Later, and how will regulators regulate the sudden emergence of this trend?
So the downsides of the solution, or to say the service, is that some consumers find themselves in a situation where they struggle to repay their loan. So they either overborrow or they actually take BNPL loans with multiple providers at the same time, and then before they realize it, they have this repayment loan that they're struggling to meet. So that's one of the big downside. And when that comes to that, well, they have to pay interest on those loans that they struggle with. And in the worst case scenario, some people see the debt passed on to debt collectors, and now they get chased by debt collectors in a worst case scenario. So that's some of the most dramatic solution we've seen. And when it comes to regulators, well, regulators are getting interested, or say are looking more and more into how they can regulate that. And some of the things they want to address is more transparency on the services when BNPL providers advertise online. Make people understand that there's a risk to impact their credit score, because when you're not making your payments on time, while the BNPL providers, some of them report that to credit providers and credit score agencies, and those one will naturally put that on the model, and that will negatively impact anybody who has a credit score with them. So consumers need to be made aware of that, and they also want to bring more transparency in terms of any other hidden fees, but also make sure that in the future, BNPL provider loans are reported to credit rating agencies. So now when somebody actually apply for BNPL loan, the BNPL provider can see if they have other loans with other loan provider, may that be with another BNPL or another credit card agency, and based on that, make a better credit worthiness of the borrower.
So this week we've seen that Apple has announced the Apple Pay Later, its own buy now, pay later service, which will launch in the US in September 2022. Do you think this will be successful? And do you think there's room in the market for Apple?
First, yeah, I do believe there's plenty of room, for the market for Apple. Like I mentioned earlier, the market is still young, and there's a lot of growth opportunity. And part of the reason why we see an uptake in the market size value of BNPL is introduction of company like Apple, PayPal. I mean, PayPal already have it, but big companies like Apple joining the sector of their home solution. So I think they will not have any issue converting any new customers. Also, one benefit that Apple has, unlike the other BNPL providers, is they already have customers that use the Apple Pay solution. They already have customers that are using Apple products. So they're going to market, firstly, their solution to consumers already accustomed to their service, and the solution will be directly embedded within Apple Pay. So now when you're going to be using your Apple Pay to make a payment online, or I guess in a store, you will be able to have the option to make a payment in full or use Apple Pay Later to make a payment in installments. So I think there's a great opportunity for Apple.
So we've seen buy now, pay later increase, but we've also seen inflation increase recently. What do you think the relationship is between the two?
I think inflation, the opinion on that is divided, but I personally think that inflation can actually contribute to more BNPL transactions. With the cost of living keep increasing due to inflation, I think some consumers are likely to turn to BNPL solution, not just for shopping anymore, but to help them, I would say, cover the daily expenditure from grocery shopping and other stuff that they need to pay on a daily basis. There actually companies in the UK who already started doing that, providing BNPL solution for, I would say, grocery shopping. So I think we're likely to see that. And I guess the question would be, is BNPL suited for those type of payments? But we're likely to see more BNPL transaction increase due to that.
Thank you very much, Chris, for those instant insights. Thanks for listening, and from us at Thematic Intelligence, see you next time.